How do we maintain our peace when our outside world is rapidly changing? That's what Colleen wants to know, and that's what we're going to explore today in the Neville Goddard podcast. My name is Mr. 2020. It is the 24th of July, 7:08 a.m. And I just love when I get a question like this because I used to try to maintain peace. I used to try to keep the peace. I was big on peace. I really was. And what I've discovered is there's a tiny little shift that makes a massive difference. And here's what it is. You might want to write this down. Joy. When you engage in what you enjoy, peace abounds. When you give life to what you enjoy, peace is the natural byproduct. And this is a continuous devotional act. This is a continuous offering. This is a continual rediscovering of who you are and how this works. Because if you've noticed, the outside world is always changing. There's plenty of scientists out there that are just pointing out different ways to notice that it's not just changing, it's changing at a rapidly speeding up rate. It's getting faster and faster. And what I do is I give life to what I enjoy. Many years ago in a course called manifestingtothemax.com, we explored, among other things, we explored 3 core identities and why I love having 3 core identities that share one common quality. You'll hear me talk about this often: happy, loving husband, happy, loving teacher, happy, loving puppy dad. And when I explored them and shared them, this is back in 2016. I can't believe it's been that long. In manifestingtothemax.com, I shared it that way for a reason, because that quality of loving allows me to move through all of them rather easily, rather rapidly. And those are all 3 things that I enjoy. I enjoy being married. I enjoy being lovely with my wife. I enjoy having puppies. I enjoy teaching and exploring this shit, because it's your questions that invite me to explore. Because I don't just explain. Explaining would bore me to tears, and probably you as well. And people just explain shit, whatever. But if we can take a moment and explore it together, that's where the courses come from. That's where the podcasts come from. So maintaining peace will have you at a covert war. Think about this. You have to maintain your peace against something. Versus in this world that's ever-changing, you're the eternal constant. In this world that's ever-changing, you can eternally give life to the lovely, to be the blessing. In this world that is eternally changing you, Neville Goddard says you are the wisdom, the power, the love of God. I notice that you're the spark behind the eyes. And if we long for what is gone, if we try to protect against what's coming, you really can't give life to the lovely now. So I find myself often when I walk into the pool, for example, as I drive to the pool, I'll pass people walking, people running, and I'll just simply imagine lovingly for them. I imagine them happy. I imagine the runner getting their 2nd or their 3rd wind, breaking their current record. I imagine the lady walking a dog having a lovely time. The young couple holding hands, I just imagine them enjoying their love that they share even more. It's these tiny little things, because some people imagine, I hope that lady picks up her dog shit. People are so lazy. Some other people imagine, young love that changes. Yeah, it can deepen. I walk into the pool, there are people coming out. I imagine lovingly for them. Often I end up in small, tiny little chats. It's lovely. This is a secret little key right here. Neville Goddard says, if you believe me, you will not pass another without lifting their cross. You will lift their cross. You can't help it. You can't help but imagine lovingly for people when you honestly believe. I'd love to hear how we maintain our peace when our outside world is rapidly changing. It does, doesn't it? We had the big change a couple years ago. We had the loogie and the lockdowns. Nobody saw that coming. And was it hard on us? You betcha. It was hard on me, I'll admit it. But at the same time, I imagine lovingly and God, had a lot of fun, some frustration, got a lot of stuff done, blessed a lot of people. Got our first 1 million listens on the podcast during that point in time. Got our second 1 million listens on the podcast during that point in time. Give life to the lovely. One more, Neville Goddard says that the state that you most commonly return to is your dwelling place. He doesn't say live in a fortress. He says the state that you most commonly return to. You will get bumped out of state. And the faster you can have a giggle about that, because when I get bumped out of state, what I do is I congratulate myself for noticing. Honest to God, I congratulate myself for noticing. Hey, I just got bumped out of state. How cool. I just noticed that I got bumped out of state. All right. And that's celebrating that I'm getting faster and faster. Instead of taking months, weeks, years to turn the tide, I can move in the twinkle of an eye. Because it's not about maintaining peace. It's not about chasing happiness. It's about giving life to the lovely. It's about really giving life to what you enjoy. Play with that. It's massive, a lovely game changer. If you got gold today, we've got a cool little pack called The Secret of Surrender. It's at NevilleGoddardStore.com. And in The Secret of Surrender, that's primarily based on one Neville Goddard quote. We dove really deep in this. Neville says that prayer is to be contrasted with an act of will. Prayer is a surrender. And you're always surrendering to something. You're gonna either surrender to a trigger, or you can surrender to a discovery in a dance. You can surrender to something that you enjoy, something lovely, and let that ripple into the world. That's The Secret of Surrender, available at NevilleGoddardStore.com. And now, let us imagine something lovely as we go into the silence. Thank you for listening. Be blessed. Be the blessing. Have a lovely day. See ya.